right. Like I said, man, we transitioning to the talk about masculinity, and I think this is a very important topic, especially I think in this age. And a lot of y'all know that I do have the Rebuilding Men support group,
Yeah.
and that's what we're trying to work on with men because it's a lot of we have a lot of guys out here. It's not a lot of men.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of guys that and let's not get it twisted. We're always working to become better men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're always working to become better men.
Yeah, we
So
always improving the
yeah,
man.
exactly. Always improving the mind. We always
Yeah.
aiming. We always aiming. But the thing is, I think, especially with this generation, or the generation that's coming up now, is that the male, what a man's supposed to be, or people's definition of what a man's supposed to be, is getting lost. Now, I'm not here to say what your definition of a man is supposed to be, but what I'm trying to say is you should have some type of definition.
Yeah.
You should have some type of model of what you think a man's supposed to be, so that way you can aim and strive towards that. Would you agree with that, Trey?
I totally agree.
And so, like, so what we're gonna do is we about to just have like a real honest and straight up discussion about masculinity. And I'll go ahead and just start off. For me, masculinity is about you got masculinity, or you got masculine energy, and you got female energy. And what you have masculine energy is more like protect, provide, those
Hmm.
type of instincts that always kick in.
Yeah.
A lot of people think being aggressive or violence or whatever, they think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing when you don't have an understanding of it. You don't know how to control yourself. You don't understand how to, because sometimes, man, if somebody gonna come in and run in your house and you got your family and stuff there,
You don't want to
and
be soft, bro.
you, bruh,
You
you can't be soft,
don't.
man. Let me tell you something. If you sit there and just let them run through and do whatever they want, like your wife gonna be looking at you like, yo, she ain't gonna feel safe.
Right,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna feel safe. So it's about knowing when, where to do it with a level of maturity.
Hmm.
So you got that energy. You gotta master that energy. But then also, men and women have both of these energies. Us as men, we have a feminine energy that we have to learn how to master as well, and
Yeah.
that's more the emotions.
Yeah.
That's more the emotions, and so the affection, the love, the care. It's not. It doesn't make you weak
Yes,
to
man.
show emotion, to show feelings, to cry. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's not. It doesn't make you weak at all. And I think what's going on is we either have this alpha, super mega alpha
Yeah.
vision, or we got this super feminine vision
Hmm.
of a man, when really it's somewhere in between that. You know what I'm
It's a
saying? Like
balance.
I don't have nothing against any people or any group or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? As long as people live in their truth,
Yeah.
that's all that matters at the end of the day. But everybody should have a vision of what you feel like a man is supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then kind of shoot towards that. What's your thoughts, Trey?
So my thoughts on that is, with your masculine energy, for one, you have to get in tune with both. You
Mm-hmm.
have to get in tune. You have to get in tune. I'm very in tune with my emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what makes me strong. All right. I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a lot, and it was a lot at a young age. I grew up around Churchill. I bounced around from Churchill, Fordham, Southside, Northside. I've been everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and out of that everywhere, I've been in all the hoods.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen a lot of traumatic stuff and a lot of things that could have been avoided. You know, and a lot of it was from men not knowing how to cope with their emotions.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
if they feel betrayed or they feel cheated, say for instance, this female, steps out and go do something with someone else. Now you want to go shoot up homeboy and his crew, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, nah, that's not the solution.
Yeah.
Because now you portrayed your emotion into violence, and that violence it's only going to continue to grow,
Mm-hmm.
because what you done out of emotion, now they're going to retaliate because of what you done, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily what you done it for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm like, I saw that from an early aspect, man. I seen way too much stuff. And if I didn't get in tune with my emotions, then I'll probably be in a clinic somewhere, because, like I said, I went through a lot, I seen a lot, uh, and I had to get in tune with myself. All right. So, in order to you have to realize your masculine and your feminine energy, and you have to find the balance.
Yeah,
You know, and like you said, when it's appropriate to act upon which energy
that's right.
is radiating the most. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and really just think logically for whatever the situation may cause, whatever it may bring. So, what I had to do was I had to spend some time with myself.
Yes.
Had to spend some time with myself, bro, and be completely open and honest with myself and God. You know, I put God there, but I really had to put that time to myself because God already know. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so while I'm doing some soul searching, He there, but He just there for guidance for right now. I need to find myself. I need to be with me. I need to, learn how I am, and I have to accept how I am.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could transition to how I want to be.
Mm.
You feel me?
What made you? What made you? What started your journey? I would say, or what made you take that deep look into yourself?
Right.
Well, what started that or triggered it?
So for me, I'm not really a competitive guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, like I said, at an early age, at an early stage in life, man, I always had all these guys giving me all of the stereotypes of what a man's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, for real, I don't fit that bill. But I'm not so feminine that I want to be gay. You know, I'm not attracted to men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like you're telling me that I'm not a man because I'm not competitive. I'm not ready to cuss out and fight at every given moment.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me I'm not a man because I ain't knocking down all of these other females, or I could have a conversation with a female as an equal versus, the man is the always on top type.
Yeah.
You telling me that I'm not a man because I don't live up to the stereotypes, but at the same time, I'm not that feminine to be on that side. So what am I?
Yeah.
Where am
Uh-huh.
I? What is this? You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, so what of their opinion? You know, I know what I like, I know how I am, and I know how things should be for me. So I perceived myself, as a man first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to define what masculinity was to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that's one of the things that you got to do. You got to who defines your masculinity. It can't be the masses. I mean, you gonna have male influences, sure, but at the end of the day, you have to take what you see, what you hear, what you've been taught, what you've been shown. You have to take that and break it down into what it is that fits your build. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like you learn so much in order to be able to do things the way that you see fit.
Yeah.
And that's with everything. But this was very important because I grew up without a father. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't have a father, and it was killing me because, like I told you, when we spoke a long time ago, my father, like I was on 28th Street, he was on 26th, so he was around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But he just like actively decided not to be in my life. So at that, I'm like 8, 9 years old, and he telling my aunt, who was his sister, who was my cousin's mother. Me and my cousin was like brothers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he telling her that I need to come to him. So
At
you
eight.
telling at 8, bro, you
uh,
telling an 8-year old that I need to basically man up, like, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I don't understand that, and like I'm like, yo, like so I was searching for that male influence, that male guidance. I was raised by women,
Mm-hmm.
I respect and I love my women. I cherish my women,
Mm-hmm.
and so I could sit there and listen. I could talk to women, on a different plane than most guys do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, that doesn't make me feminine
Mm-hmm.
because I could actually have a conversation with a female with no intentions of having sex later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make me soft.
Mm-hmm.
What does that? How does that even? How do
How
you
do
even?
you
Yeah.
even come to that equation?
Yeah.
And it's because of our jaded thoughts of a male.
Yes.
It's our jaded thoughts as a male, man. And it's funny, like you talk about like your upbringing and everything. And so I had my, like I said earlier, like I had my dad around,
Yeah.
but he worked a lot. So he was around, but he wasn't really around. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? He was there when I needed him to be, but like on a daily basis, he wasn't. He was busy working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I like my mom was the feminine energy, but my mom was a tougher woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't show a lot of affection and things like that. So yeah, it's funny because you think about like how opposite sometimes people definition of a man is supposed to be.
Hmm.
So I sit and I think about like what I grew up with my dad and what I seen in him and the relationship between my dad and my mom and like the lack of affection they had.
Mm.
So my idea of a man was, oh, I gotta get up, I gotta work, I gotta keep working, provide for the family, which a
Yeah.
man should do that.
Yeah.
And protect your family at all costs and stick through thick and thin with everything.
Yeah.
But when it came down to the little subtle nuances, that feminine energy, you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? I didn't see that in my dad. I can't say if my dad. I think my dad has it. I just never seen it in the household. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so when it came to like the affection, the holding hands, the sit down and thinking about talking to a woman and just really getting to know her. Like the stuff that you were saying,
Yeah.
I was like the opposite. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, how can I get this girl get what I want out of her? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or or just you know, I was really shy at first. So
Yeah.
when I worked my way out of my shyness,
Hmm.
I was like, oh, I'm about to get to talk to all the girls
Right.
now. You know what I'm saying? But now, like you said, because I know for me, when I really had to work on my definition of a man was after my divorce. Like, and that's why, like I said in other podcasts, the divorce was like one of the toughest times in my life, but it was the best thing that could have happened to me because I had to really reevaluate every aspect of my life. Like I had to sit there and think, be like, dang, how did I get myself in this situation? And now how can I become better from this situation? And so one of the things I had to look at was like, yo, how are you as a man? You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
and I realized I was a passive aggressive man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which and for me, it doesn't really work because you gotta be able to tell people exactly what you want and how
Yeah.
you want it,
Yeah.
or else they make their own interpretations of what you're trying to say if you're passive aggressive.
Hmm.
So I had to learn how to be more of, yep, I want this done in this way,
More
and that's the
assertive.
way, and that's the way I like it. Now it does, my word does have to be law, but now you know what I'm feeling or exactly how I'm feeling or what exactly I want, and now we could try to negotiate, kind of
Yeah.
like what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to work on that aspect of a man, far as being more firm with what I say and what I want.
Yeah.
And I had to work on being more affectionate and caring and understanding and being able to listen. And that's what my journey was like. This whole 2019 was about learning how to love unconditionally and about learning how to better myself.
Hmm.
And I feel like throughout the year, I've worked on those things because I see the benefits of them from dealing with my parents, my ex-wife, from new people that I meet, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And part of and I'm gonna say this too. Part of the reason or part of the way you could tell which path you on, or part of the reason you could, or part of the way you could tell how you're developing as a person is look at your circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at your circle and your circle looking a little rough, you know what I'm saying? You look around, they on Xbox and stuff all day, or you know what I'm saying, and they ain't really trying to do something to better themselves. Then you gotta be like, you know what? I need to get to a different frequency. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with playing
Yeah,
Xbox.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I
Like
got the
if
PlayStation
you,
now.
you know what I'm
You
saying? Like ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, everybody got their own path. So I try not to knock anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And nowadays, shoot, you know, people making millions of dollars
Yes, man.
off of Xbox.
Yes,
I like,
man.
man, if I would have known that, I would have definitely kept playing,
Yo,
bruh.
man.
I would have definitely kept playing. So I'm not gonna knock nobody hustle or what people do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying if you know you have this certain path or this passion that you're trying to go towards, and you see the people around you are not on that same frequency, then you gotta boost your frequency up, because what happened is you'll attract those people to you. I really feel like I attracted Trey
Yeah.
into my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted better. I wanted better. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it, but I knew I wanted. I knew what I wanted, and you know the universe, God, whatever you believe in, place the people in place for me to get to where I'm at, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
placed where I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm not content.
There you
You know what
go.
I'm saying? I'm not content, but I'm definitely appreciative of how far I came, and I think that's a big thing about being a man. Is like you gotta learn how to appreciate the people that's
Mm-hmm.
around you. I'm telling y'all heard my story. Like you got to learn how to appreciate the people that's around you, because one thing I do know is like if you don't appreciate the people or the things around you, somebody else do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody else do. So, you know, like as a man, and women, I feel like can apply the same principles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To themselves, you know, you just flip the energies a little bit. But it's the same principles for us as people. Like
Yeah.
you gotta learn to appreciate the small things and continuously work on yourself.
Sure
You
thing,
know what
man.
I'm
So, to touch on that, for your masculinity, right?
saying?
I have many gay friends,
Hmm.
boy and girl. I got many gay friends, and we all cool. We be tripping. I could call on them. I could talk to them. You know, it's not a problem. One of the things that I learned, or one of the, it was at this point where I had like actually like defined this. So I was working at FedEx at one point, and there was this one guy there, one of my homies, you know, and he gay, right? And he flamboyant gay, like so most of the guys would try to like stay away from him,
Mm.
or you know place that judgment on him, like nah, I can't even go over there, you know, he over there, you know, like so what, you know, like for me it was like, oh, I don't care, you know,
Mm.
like why should that, and why should the way he is intimidate you,
Yeah.
why should that affect your masculinity? So I had the pleasure of speaking with him, because to everybody's surprise, he was willing to talk. You know, anybody else would go say, you know, hurtful things towards him, and he'll lash back, he'll bounce back, he'll snap at him.
Mm.
So that everybody can say he had an attitude. Well, when I approached him and just talked to him, he did not have an attitude. It's like, yo, like, duh, you know what I mean? Like,
Approaching like a human
you
being.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of some wild animals. So then I had a one on one conversation with him, and he told me, he was like, all of the guys that are like super masculine can't even be in the same vicinity as him are the ones that get his number. And I said, what? He
On the
started
low,
pointing, you
yeah,
know what I
they try to
mean?
do it on the low.
Started pointing out certain guys, and I was like, my goodness, you know, like I'm like, yo, I'm surprised because I'm like, yo, it's cool, but the way they portraying it is like, yo, like I could never. And I'm like, he like, yeah, them always be the ones. And
uh,
I'm like, okay. So then I talked to my girl too. She went over to this spot called Godfrey's. This a gay bar, and they be putting on shows and stuff there. And she was like, you'll be surprised. Most of the men that come there are married. got the wife at home, you know, like,
uh,
and I was like, wow. Like, so what that concluded for me was the ones who are like portraying like super hard, super masculine, you know, man's man, super alpha. Them are the ones, usually the ones that's on the low, and that's because they're trying so hard to protect their masculinity.
hey, that's right.
You know, so for me, like I said, get in tune with yourself. It was very like I'm very comfortable with who I am.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have to question that. It's not a question. I'm not attracted to men sexually, so I could say things like I be with the gay guys, and I could say things like, you know, I could agree like that's an attractive guy. You
Mm.
know, it's something that we all see.
Yeah.
You know, I could pinpoint that like yes, that's an attractive guy. You know how I could pinpoint that for a heterosexual guy? If that guy was to try to talk to my woman, I would feel like I need to step up.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, bro, what you doing? You know what I mean? That's because you can see that he is an attractive man. You
Yeah.
know, not that you're attracted to him, but you can see that he is an attractive man on that aspect. You
Yeah.
know, if it was somebody dusty, busted, little ugly, you know
You
what I
like, yeah,
mean?
go ahead, talk all you
You
want
could
to.
try, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You laid back, you could try. You know what I mean?
The wrong
But
guy come and be like, hold up a
yeah. like,
second.
oh, this dude, he buffing some. Oh,
I know
hold
that's
on,
right,
bro.
bro.
Hold on, bro. Yeah.
Man,
So
that's true.
that alone pinpoints like, all right, so we all see it.
Hmm.
So what's the big deal? Like, I'm not going around like, oh, you sexy and no, it ain't like that. But I could acknowledge that you're an attractive guy. If I can acknowledge that I'm attractive,
Mm.
what makes me attractive? If I see it in somebody else, then yes, I can acknowledge that. You
Mm.
know, that's because I'm secure about my
Exactly.
masculinity.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to fake or flaunt it. You know, I don't have to. I don't have to try so hard. I don't have to put on an image. I'm comfortable with me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I don't have to. I don't have to live that little secret life
Yeah.
that everybody hypes up as the right thing to do. It's not.
Yeah.
I'd rather be comfortable with who I am.
And that's the important part, bro. That's the important thing, man. Like I said, with masculinity, you just have to be able to define it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to define it for yourself.
Sure
And
thing.
and and the other thing is being, like Trey said, being comfortable in your own skin. Cause I know for the longest time, bro, I wasn't comfortable in
Mm-hmm.
my own skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get picked on and stuff in high school
Yeah.
and things like that. And if you don't have that 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 the confidence
Yeah.
that's built into you from like
Mm-hmm.
childhood and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I didn't come from an affectionate household. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like I didn't get like the, oh, Paul, you so amazing and
Yeah.
things like that. And
That hype.
that's not a knock to my parents. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because they did the best they could with
Mm-hmm.
what they knew and
Yep.
from based on their history.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking them in any shape or form. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't get that from my parents. So I felt like I had a confidence issue. I remember I thought I was the man until I got to middle school. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a little girlfriend and everything like that in elementary school and all that stuff. So I thought I was good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to middle school. And just a little story time too. I don't know if you want to share the story about masculinity or not,
What's up? We can
but
do it.
man, I remember I was big in like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh
Yes.
and stuff when I was in middle school, right? Or
Yes.
in Pokemon, I was super into Pokemon. So I was the type of dude. I had the Pokemon shirts. Like I had a shirt that had like all the Pokemons and stuff on it.
Yeah, colorful joke.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then I had like these flannel DJ shirts where it had a bunch of DJs and stuff on it. Like looking back now, I'm like, dang, what was I thinking about? But I had so I was going to school and I'm thinking I'm the man,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I am and was back then really smart. So I had like advanced classes. So I took classes with older kids.
Yeah.
So in the sixth grade, I had like a lot of seventh grade classes. So I had to eat lunch with the seventh graders. So I remember it was me and a couple of my other friends, and we go sit down at the table, and like I hear some of the older kids talking, going down the line, talking about the kids and stuff. Some with them. Then I hear, who the guy with the Pokemon shirt on? Who is this kid right here?
Yeah.
And I look down. I like, oh snap, he talking about me. And it was like, man, they better get this boy out of here. You gotta catch 'em all looking face boy and all that stuff. I was like, they was flaming like the whole cafeteria was
Just
cracking
got
up.
at you,
I
yeah.
was like, oh man. I went home, threw that shirt away. Came back the next day, or like a couple of days later with the DJ shirt on. Come back in. Who that over there with the DJ shirt? They was like, oh, that's Paul. And you know, they
Yeah.
3-6 Mafia out. Oh, DJ Paul right
Yeah.
there. And I was like, oh my goodness, yo. Went home, threw that away. It was getting to the point like I didn't even want to go to lunch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But and a lot of people have like insecurities from situations like that they just carry with them because they don't ever deal with them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I approached a woman and a woman like one of my first times really approaching a girl.
Yeah.
They laughing in my face and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that stuff stick in people's
I'm telling
subconscious,
you.
and then they sit here and then like for the longest time, I didn't want to approach no other woman after that. For the
Yeah.
longest time, I didn't really want to wear what I wanted to wear. I wore what everybody else was wearing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I had the baggy jeans and the Air Forces and like the big shirts and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And really, I wasn't big in the Air Forces. I just got them because I knew that's what people like. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I had had my little fake chain and all of that stuff. I had my go-to date outfit and all that. But
Yeah.
it just was it and like I say, man, it's important for all the people that got children out there, man, to just keep reaffirming your child, keep instilling that confidence
Mm-hmm.
and things into your child. Cause like I said, my dad was busy, my mom was working a lot, so and I felt like I didn't have a lot of people to talk to about those situations to kind of walk me through it and to be like, dang, when you talk to that girl, what did you say to her? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I would have said, hey, how you doing today, and I said in like a corny way, if I had somebody there to talk to me, like, no, why don't you try to approach them this way? How you doing today, miss? Things
Mm-hmm.
like that. You look really nice today.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting out a compliment or
Yeah.
something like that. I had to learn those things as I got older because my confidence was shot. You know what I'm saying? And confidence is the biggest thing, one of the biggest things when it comes to male or females,
Oh yeah.
because confident. I'm gonna be keep it real, man. I think the reason why a lot of these guys go out here and deal with a lot of women is because of lack of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lack of confidence because the women around them give them the confidence. It make them feel important. It
Yeah.
make them feel good. The fact that they can have like, oh, I can get any women out here I want, or I have any got X amount of women. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's something inside of them that's just making them feel like, dang, I really got to go out here and I got to talk to every single woman for me to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it go back to confidence, and the same thing with women, man. When women confidence is shot, they go out here and sleep with anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They go out here and deal with anybody.
Start searching for acceptance.
Acceptance, man, and part of becoming a grown up
Mm-hmm.
is learning to accept yourself.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Have that confidence in yourself, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, bro. But you got something else you want to add with
Sure
masculinity?
thing,
Uh
man. With alongside of being comfortable with yourself, getting in tune with your emotions, is that negative spirit of comparison I spoke on
Oh
earlier.
man, yes.
Uh, that negative views on yourself and having that negative self talk. Man, when it comes to you and your masculinity, I mean, I'm sure you have an idea of how you're supposed to be. It's all right for you not to be there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you actively work towards that. But then you look at the picture perfect man, you know, he might have like cut up with the abs and a few women, and he got money. He's a protector. He's strong, and all of that. You look at that type of image of what a man's supposed to be, and you would look at yourself like I'm not there or I'm not that, and you start to shame yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to stay away from that negative spirit of comparison. No one person is built like the next. You know, we're all strong. We all have our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
For you to strengthen your masculinity, like I said, you have to accept yourself. You have to get in tune with your emotions. You have to sit there with yourself. What is it that I lack? What is it that I want? Or what do I want to be better at? And you have to actively decide to work towards that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I always been shy. I'm pretty sure my voice isn't protruding as much as yours on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Uh,
I've always been shy, so I've always been more so the quiet one. I've always been willing to listen to, and
mm.
I've listened to the don't speak unless you're spoken to, don't ask stupid questions, which is that's retarded.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as a stupid question. If something that you don't know, then you should ask.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I know of. That's what I was raised on. Like, don't ask stupid questions. Speak when you're spoken to. Um, and that led to me being a mumbler. And when I would speak, I would mumble. I would talk quiet, and then I'll get ridiculed for, oh, you can't, you like speak up, bro. I can't even hear what you don't even open your mouth. So that led to me not speaking. You know, when I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, man, look, I had to decide that I'm going to be one who speaks his mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be one who will be listened to. Like I had to decide that you know, people will listen to you. People will value you only as much as you value yourself.
Man, that's powerful.
You know,
That's powerful.
so whatever it is that you lack that you want, as long as you work towards that, you're gonna resonate that, and people will see that they'll gravitate to it. So you don't have to lash out in a negative sense, you know, in order to gain what it is that you're looking for, that
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're lacking. Nobody's listening to you. Sometimes maybe you might be talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not taking you serious. You talk all the time, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Maybe you spew out a lot of stuff that's not true, a lot of falsehoods, So now you need to just speak more truth. And in order to speak more truth, you need to know what it is that you really want, that you really looking for, versus speaking what you think everybody else is want to hear, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So those type of things, I had to sit down and reflect. I had to reflect on myself, like, okay, nobody's listening to me. Well, if I want people to listen to me, I gotta lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped talking and I started doing, and then they started asking questions. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now I could talk, and it don't even matter how I talk because you tuned in and listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to get in tune with yourself. Uh, don't worry about how someone else is compared to you. Unless you're gonna use that as a module of where you're headed for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. So get rid of that negative spirit of comparison. It's not a competition. And the last thing I want to touch on for masculinity is the emphasis on going hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, I I I, I loathed that,
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't a competitive guy. I mean, sure, I play sports, and I play it like I was taught to play for the fun of it, but I'm gonna be good at it to have fun.
Yeah, is
So
it?
so that's where the competition would come into play, but I didn't look at it as competition. I look at it as practice or training or, just having a good time while I'm whooping your tail on the court.
Uh-huh.
Like that's what I would look at it as instead of looking at it as competition. Um, so when people would tell me to go hard, that would make me do the opposite. Like I would literally like they go, you gotta go hard. I would kind of shrivel up inside,
Mm-hmm.
or I was like, look, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna go away from it because so much expectation. And what I had to learn is if you're going to go hard for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Go hard towards something, and that something should make sense to you. So it was easy, it was natural for me to go hard for my family. You know what I'm saying? Like the picture you painted earlier, if somebody was to break in this house, I'm automatic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I mean? I hear my car alarm going off. I wake up out my sleep and I'm at the door in the boxes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You know,
Uh.
like I go hard for that. I'm a protector. I'm gonna make sure that whoever behind me is safe,
Mm-hmm.
beside me too. You know, and I'm looking out for who in front of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like
Covering
I'm,
all angles.
you know what I mean? I'm a
Uh.
protector to the core, man. That's me. You
Mm.
know, but I wanted to be able to stand up to that. So when I go hard and understand, like I'm an emotional person. You know what I mean? Most men cannot admit that.
Yeah.
You know, they see emotion as the lighter side of things, the weak emotions, or what's titled to be the weak emotions, which are, the love, the affection, the softer things, the caring things, the things that people, oh man, you soft.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. I'm an emotional person. Like I said, I do everything out of heart,
Yeah.
meaning I do everything out of love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me stronger, not weaker.
Yeah.
And I had to define that for myself because that's everybody else is like, oh man, that's gonna make you weak. You showing love, show no love, love will get you killed. You in the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Uh.
And meanwhile, I'm like, hey, I'm living, you know what I mean? And I want to continue to live, and I want to spread love. I
Mm.
don't want to live in a hate world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in order to be, I had to be the changer of that. I had to change it in my perspective and start acting it out in order to start seeing it.
Mm.
So it would be like some of the toughest guys or the most gangster guys, they would talk to me in a different sense because they know I'm not standing for that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like you don't have to come at me all strong and tough. You can talk to me how you want to talk to me. Most of the guys that's going so hard, it's an image just to keep up.
Yeah.
You know, like say for instance, we in school, guy gets in a fight, or now he could beat everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you gotta live up to that image. So as soon as you feel some type of emotion, you looked at as weak, and now somebody else want to test you
Yeah.
because you seem like you weak. So you got to keep up this strong face. You got to keep up the I don't care face. The
It's a
you
jail
know what I'm saying?
mentality,
I'm
bro.
telling you,
It's
man.
a jail
I'm
mentality.
telling you, man. And I was like, yo, like I used to pride myself for the fights I would get into, in
Mm.
schools. Like I was undefeated at one point. It was
Yeah.
at one point like people wouldn't come to the bus stop because before we get on this bus, I need to swing at somebody. Like it seriously had got to that point because I mean that's around the age I was discovering masculinity.
Mm.
So it was like all right, the tough guys, the real men, they fight. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I was thinking. And this was elementary.
Yeah.
So I got expelled from an elementary school.
Mm.
I was in what, second or third? I think I was in second grade, bro. Like I was young, and I fought a fifth grader. I took the fire extinguisher to the dude. You know what I mean?
In the fifth grade,
And
man.
I was in second grade. He was in fifth.
Oh my goodness.
Because, like you said, jail mentality, take
Mm-hmm.
out the bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
So to
And
establish
you knew that
dominance.
in the second grade.
Yes, bro.
Dang.
Like little.
Uh.
Like, and I took that and I ended up getting expelled. And that's when I had to go to a county school. I went to Sanston Elementary.
Mm.
And when I went to Sanston Elementary, that image did not carry over. Nobody knew who I was.
Mm.
And because nobody knew who I was, nobody took me seriously.
Mm.
And then, I'm that young. What I did, I couldn't even go into class because I felt like I didn't get the same respect as, the other school.
Mm.
I couldn't even go into class. I sat there on the outside, man, crying for my mama. When my
Mm.
mama gonna come pick me up?
Mm.
Is she gonna come pick me up? She was late a couple times, so it was like I don't even know if she gonna come today.
Yeah.
At that age, I'm like, I'm thinking like I'm not important, and
Mm.
I'm in this, this foreign land basically with all these people who overlook me, and I'm uncomfortable. So as a younger, very younger guy, what I would do is I would sit there and I would cry. And this went on for like 2 weeks until I realized that nobody is going to console me for sitting outside crying. And I went inside the class. I remember all of this.
Yeah.
And I went inside that class and was accepted, and then they was doing like a project with like Play-Doh and stuff, and I made like Gumby and stuff, and it was like, oh, you actually talented, like you
uh,
actually cool, and it was like, yeah, I like to smile, I like to laugh, I don't necessarily want to fight,
mhm.
but I thought that the actual men, the tough guy, that was the image to go for, you know,
Mhm.
like that's what I thought, and that was at an early age,
Yeah.
and it did transpire over a little bit, but I learned from both ends, being taken away from that environment
Mhm.
is one of the main things that showed me that this is not all that's out here.
Bruh, and you know the wild part? Because we went to the same school. It
Mm-hmm.
was a daily thing for fights. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? It was a daily thing. And
Yes.
so I get older and I talk to people and I be like, they experienced in school that, yeah, that was cool. I be like, how often y'all have fights? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They like, oh, maybe like once a month, twice a month or something like that. I'm like, what?
Shoot.
That was the first half of school we had a fight. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Then the second half.
Yes. And
And
come the end of the school year, who gonna fight this time?
man, you
It
ain't
was yeah.
lying,
Bring the
bruh.
cameras because it's going to
Yo, it was wild, man. The last thing I want to kind of go over is accountability
Yeah.
and how it seems like it's such a lack of accountability nowadays. People want to blame everybody
Mm.
for where they are in life or why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And in retrospect, if you mad at your parents because they abused you and you got these issues, it's logical.
Yeah.
That could be it. But the thing is, how long are you just gonna sit there and let
Play the
that
victim.
play the victim? How long are you gonna sit there and play the victim? How
Mm-hmm.
long are you gonna sit there and just sit in that and just be like, well, this is just how I am
This is
because
me. Yeah.
this is
What
what they
happened?
did.
Yeah.
This is what they did, or this is what he did, or this is what she did, or whatever. Like at some point, people got to take a hold of their life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What you've been through is not who you are.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy to me that and I gotta thank my parents because my parents never let me sit and just let me feel sorry for myself. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? No matter what I've been through. And when I sit back and I look, it's so many times as with anybody, you can sit here and be like, yeah, it's because of this, because of this, or this because of this. Like everything that happened in my life, I try to take full accountability for.
Yeah.
I made the decision. I lived my life.
Yep.
I made my decision. I did this. I did that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna sit here and blame anybody for my decisions because I went through something. I could have learned from that and stayed away, or I could have, if it was something positive, I could have seen that and went towards that.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't do that, that's on you.
It
You know
is.
what I'm saying? And I hate to say it, and I hate to say it because I know people been through some traumatic stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's stuff that's not easy to get over.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here saying that it's going to be easy for you to get over. I'm just saying for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
for your peace of mind. And this is going to kind of transition to our
Transition.
next
Yeah.
our next topic is that you gotta let stuff go, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta learn to let stuff go. You want to add on that?
Sure do,
Uh,
man. You speaking some facts, Paul. Look, your happiness is no one else's responsibility.
nobody, nobody.
So therefore, you must take accountability for all of what goes on in your life. Everything. You're
Mm.
responsible for everything. If you're on your way to work and there's an accident on the highway, you're responsible for taking that route. You knew that it was going to be backed up around that time.
Mm.
And what it usually is backed up for an accident. Surprise, surprise, there's an accident.
Mm.
You thought about it, it actually happened. You're responsible. Even
Mm.
though you're not in that accident, take accountability for it. You
Mm.
know what I mean? So now you're going to be late when you could have avoided all that by simply taking another route
Or leaving
or
earlier.
leaving earlier.
uh,
Like there are things that you could do to improve a situation before it even happens.
yeah.
You know, like, oh, if I need to go talk to this person, it's not going to be a good conversation. Well, how can you make it so?
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Man,
how
you gonna
could
mess around? We gonna be sitting here talking for hours, bro.